Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Balin91. You know me by now, and I'm really just coming at you with an off-the-beat kind of commentary / video style because I wanted to talk about something not necessarily bad, actually kind of good, kind of bad, a little bit in between, not too horrible, I guess you could say, and that is about freedom of speech and the ability to really produce content when you're not who you are. Now I've been talked about this about many times because it comes down to the same point and same situation, same topics, is that I used to write poetry when I was young. I was that little kid who would sit in the corner, draw his little cartoons, sit around, play video games, write his poetry, didn't really socialize too much. That's nothing new. That really isn't. But what it comes down to is this, is that when I would write those poetries, every once in a while I would reach out to other people and I'd say, hey, I want you to give me input on what I have created. And you know what that was? Is that's me saying and opening up an expression to say, here, take what I have poured my heart into to give me constructive feedback and tell me about it because I want to hear what you have to say. Now this is back when I didn't think about this kind of stuff, but this is what I was subconsciously reaching out to do, was to hear back and hear what people had to say, because that's what I wanted in the end, was I wanted to listen and hear what people have to say. But here's where the pitfall of that came, is that when I would hand somebody this piece of poetry, they would take it, and then they would begin to read it out loud. That tripped me out. That was a fatal incident, I guess you could say, because that grew to a leading amount of mistrust and misplaced information in my brain. Is that I didn't make things because I wanted them read out loud. I specifically reached out to you because I was nervous. I was afraid. But I wanted to put in my trust that you were going to give me input and feedback. But the downside was I didn't specify that I wanted you to not read it out loud because it would be embarrassing to me. Now the downfall from that is the fact that when I do these types of commentaries or videos, it's extremely difficult. The downside is that right now, as we speak, my mother is in the basement. I'm in the second floor, and it's difficult because right now I feel subconscious. I feel like I have to limit what I say. I don't feel like I can be myself in this area. Now, that's not to say that this contextualizes and restrains who I am. It just says is that I can't clearly and fully express my thoughts and opinions and go on the level of animation that I get when I'm angry, because that's really kind of who I am. I am an angry guy. Let's not try to beat around the bush. That's just kind of what I do. I'm very angry, very opinionated, but at the same time, I've also got a good mind in here every once in a while. And the pitfall from that, like I said, is that when people are around, I feel I need to stop, to pull back, to not be who I really am. And, it took a long-ass time, but Matt and I have finally broken that barrier, and I'm excited because for those of you who were paying attention, we did our first hour of recording on Past the Scammers. I haven't put it up or anything because we only found down 1 hour, and I want to be able to, like I promised you guys, I want to be able to release these things in a weekly schedule and promise you guys content, not yank you around. Because that's what we've done in the past, and I'm not doing that again. That's just not going to happen on anybody's watch because people come to YouTube now to be entertained. That's what it really is. They come to be entertained. And I'm so upset because my pitfall is that I don't think I can entertain people anymore. Now, it's not necessary, and I'm not putting blame on anybody, but the reality is that I'm always freaked out regardless if it's one person, 2 people, 5 people. The thing that's different about it is that it took me years to build up trust with Matt, and I can perform in a crowd of people. It's amazing, and it feels awesome to do that sometimes. But at the end of the day, it's kind of weird. I just actually met a friend from work, and it's really interesting. She's really cool, really nice person. She's got a good attitude that actually plays in with a funny characteristic. But the thing is, though, is that she's been very generous, and she's made several offers and attempts to actually help us out with this whole recording process. And on top of that is you will be seeing her in future episodes. But the thing that sucks about it is that while she's being nice and offering so much of this up front, I've only known her for a couple months, and Matt's only met her a couple of times. And, it took me many, many years to build up this level of trust with Uncle Poe to the point where that I can now pretty much say whatever the hell I want to him whenever I want. Any thought I have, I can just say to him. It's even hard to do that with my own girlfriend. I mean, I've built up trust, and I've built up really good personas and attitudes with people. We kind of get to know each other on certain levels. But even my own girlfriend, whom I love with all my goddamn heart, it is still tremendously hard to be exactly who I am. I would not be able to record a commentary in front of her. It would freak me out the entire time. I'd be too scared. I'm going to say the wrong thing. Even now, if I were to say something like, oh, fucking hate this person, I'm going to walk downstairs and then I'm going to hear something about, oh, well, I heard you up there when you were talking. Why do you not like this person? Then I have to go through this long, elaborate explanation of things that people don't want to hear. And that's the downside is that I have been in I don't want to use the word induced, but I have been engulfed in this culture of people in the place that I live, the area, of people who, when you tell them about YouTube, when you tell them about video games, they just say they don't care. They don't want to hear it. And you know what? That's fine. They're allowed to not want to hear something. You're adults, you're a child or anything. You're allowed to not hear whatever you want to do. So it's a fair thing to say, but I am not in a culture of people who really understands and surrounds themselves in what I do. So the downside of that is that this is really a difficult thing to do. Even now, if you were listening all the way to the end of this, you'll notice that there were 3 continuity errors of this. Number 1, as I started doing this video, I had a beard. Now I don't, because I had to take a pause because my mother started wandering around. You guys, it's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing, but I just want to let everybody know who really is interested in what we do, to let them know that it is really hard for me to entertain anymore, because it's hard to find a quiet area. I can't find the funny in myself. I find that anything that I do always involves a plan of somebody else. And it's not a bad thing exactly, but I'm putting too much dependence on people who don't care. You know, Matt is a great guy. He cares a lot, and he does want to do this, but he's so fucking busy. He needs to move out of his house in the next couple of weeks or couple of months. But, like, you know, he's really busy. But when all of my plans involve him or, you know, my friends and whatnot, it puts a dependence on people that I can accentuate funny based off of them. And that's a difficult challenge for me. I hope any of you who understand this will write a comment below talking about, you know, hey, you know, I had this problem and I solved it. Or, you know, hey, I struggle with this problem too. Because deep within any one of us, doesn't matter who you are, we are creative in our own manner. You're not special, you're not like a unique flower, but we are creative. We do have a talent or a potential that everybody has that, you know, can exceed what other people do. For me, I think that I have a good mind when it comes to people, but that is usually not always the case. Some people are better at it. You know, you might be listening to this, you're really good at art, but, you know, somebody could be better than you, or there's something that's holding you back. Don't be afraid to try to break through it. I'm working through my problems and trying to break through it. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you do pay attention to these videos because I hope that they will be coming out February time.